Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I am doing something that I'm going to call Follow-Up Friday. Basically, I'm going to be going back to the drugstore haul that I did a couple of weeks ago and give you some follow-up thoughts on the product, what I'm reaching for, what I'm not, have I gotten any of the products to work. I'm also going to mention a couple of products that I have done previous reviews on that I find myself going back to over and over again. So as much as possible on my channel, I do try to give you not first impression reviews. I try to use the product for a while so that I have formed an opinion, but oftentimes there are products that you use and they're good or not so good, and then you find yourself either going back to them over and over again, or you find that you never reach for them again at all. And I thought this would be a good place to be able to give you some extra thoughts, some follow-up, and some more in-depth opinions, or maybe not in-depth as much as, you know, what a product is like after using it for a while. If you are watching this before April 14th, 2017, and you have not yet entered my giveaway, I would encourage you to find the link down below in the description bar. I did a video for my 250th subscriber / 100th video, and in it I'm doing a giveaway, so click there to go find out about it and enter. Let's get on with the products. I'm going to talk first about the Maybelline Dream Cushion, and I have mixed feelings about this, but I will tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it when I find myself reaching for it. So I do find that when I first put this on and I was putting it on and patting it all over my face, it felt both a little heavy on my skin, and also, I mean, this is more of a shade match issue, but I just found that it made me look a little too yellow, which made me look kind of dull and sallow just because it's not my skin tone. As I said, that's a shade match issue. If you have a skin tone that matches better with one of these, you'll probably enjoy it a little bit more than I do as a full coverage foundation. And you do get higher coverage by patting it on, going into the product and patting it on your face. But I didn't really like it that way, and I didn't find myself reaching for it until I found a way that I kind of liked using it. And cushion foundation people are probably going to really dislike this. What I find I like this for is as light coverage. And what I do is I get the little sponge out of here, dip it into the product, and I pat on to get the product onto my face, but then I find I'm sort of swiping it to sheer it out, and it gives me a nicer, lighter feeling finish. I know that's not the way you're supposed to use it, but that's the way that I have been using it and enjoying it. And quite honestly, this is such a lazy girl thing. I find myself reaching for this when I'm sitting down to do my makeup. I don't know if you're like me, you sit down to do your makeup, you're all ready, and then you realize that you haven't dampened your beauty sponge yet. I really like applying product with a beauty sponge, like far and away better than with a brush. So there have been some days doing my makeup when I sit down and I think, oh, I haven't dampened my sponge yet. I don't need it if I use this. And so this is kind of my lazy grab if I don't feel like going and picking up my beauty sponge and getting it wet. So I would not say that this is my favorite foundation, but it is really convenient because it's just all ready to go. And as I said, I like it using more of a swiping motion, but that does make it a very light coverage foundation, which I am okay with. I like some of my freckles peeking through. It does cover up my redness and even out my skin tone and still lets my freckles come through. So that is how I ended up using this. I would not say it's my favorite foundation. It's the only cushion foundation I've tried, but I really do like it for the convenience factor. The next product I picked up in my haul was this Milani eyeshadow primer, and here is a point where I wish I was more of an experienced beauty reviewer, because this is the first eyeshadow primer I've ever used, so I don't feel that I can compare this against other primers, but I can tell you what this is like versus what I usually do. And I'm a little confused about eyeshadow primers, so hear me out on this. I do find this works well for putting a little bit onto my lid, letting it sit for the 30 seconds it says, and then if I go in with my eyeshadow powders, I do find it makes the powders more vibrant. They do stick to my lid. I think they last longer. It makes it a lot harder to blend because this provides a little bit of a sticky surface, but that's what makes the eyeshadow grab on more. What confuses me is I see some people who say that they use an eyeshadow primer and then they go over with a bit of their concealer and then powder that. And in the past, if you've been watching me, you know what I usually do if I'm not using a primer is use a bit of concealer, powder over top, and then go in with my eyeshadow products. So if you put all that on top of a primer, does the primer still make a difference anymore? I would love to know how you use eyeshadow primers, which ones you love, and how I should be using it. I have been using it, I have been enjoying it, but I can't really say as compared to other eyeshadow primers if it's good, not good, how it works. But I will keep using this because I do like that it seems to increase the vibrancy and lasting of my eyeshadows if I put it on just directly over top of the primer. Next is the L'Oreal Infallible Paints eyeshadow, and if you saw me use this in the sort of first impression haul, you know I was a little frustrated that it was patchy, it was hard to blend, and I have found a way I liked using this, which is I basically open this up, dab a little bit of it from the doe foot onto my finger, and then pat it in the middle of my lid. That's what I've done today, and it works nicely that way, but I still think that I would not necessarily go for these. They're just a little harder to work with than you want them to be. They have some nice colors, but they can be kind of patchy. They move around when you're trying to blend them instead of blending nicely. So they're kind of a little bit more trouble than they're worth. And honestly, I only really reached for this when I was going to do this review. Otherwise, it's not something that I've been going back to. The next product is this NYX 3-in-1 eyebrow powder, pencil, and gel. I hope I'm not sounding too negative in this review. I have some issues with this. Now, to be fair, if you are somebody who watches me, you know I am not really a brow girl. I tend to let my brows go au naturel. So I am kind of giving this review as a beginner, and I have some issues with this. So there's 3 products in here. The first one is the pencil that twists up. Now, my problem with this is twofold. First of all, this is a very thick pencil. So it's kind of hard to get the little, draw in individual brow hairs in the same way as some other pencils. And I also find this to be very, it's loose. And so it can kind of like fall back down into the pen when you're trying to use it because it just doesn't feel very secure when you're moving it up. You know, if you compare that to this other pencil I have, which is also drugstore, it is Maybelline Brow Precise, and you look at how fine that tip is, I would take this as a brow pencil over the NYX one. The next product that you get in here is a powder, so you kind of pull it out of here and use the powder side of it. I would warn you that you really need to tap this off because I got brow fallout from this powder. And for me at least, if I am using the crayon part of this or the pencil part of this, I don't really need the brow powder. Maybe that's just me. The final part of this is the brow gel. And I can use this, but it took me a little while to figure out how. I just find that the spoolie on here is a little bit too long. If it was like half the length of this, I would have a bit more control and I would be happy with it. I also find the tip of this picks up way too much product. So when I go in to use it, I kind of get a glob or it ends up getting all over the place. So I've been using this by taking that out, really wiping off the tip on a piece of tissue and then going in and using it. But it feels like a lot of ways that this product could be better. And I would suggest, I think there's a NYX micro pencil that people love that they compare to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I've never used, but I think there's better products out there than this one. But once again, this is all individual and I am not a brow person. So if you are somebody who, likes doing certain things with their brows, this may be wonderful for you. And it could be wonderful for travel because you get all 3 products in one if you are somebody who uses all 3 of these products. I am sounding so negative in this video. So next we have our Wet n Wild Lash Renegade. And again, I'm going to say that I think you can get better mascaras at the drugstore than this. And there's a couple of reasons for that. As far as the formula goes, it's fine. It doesn't really, get clumpy. It doesn't clump your lashes together or anything. It's nice and black. you know, it does a little bit of length, a little bit, but it's not spectacular. There's nothing about the formula that is far and away better than other drugstore brands that I've tried. And I really want mascaras to stop doing this thing where they give you that extra bit on the end. So when I pull this out of here, it has that ball at the end that's supposed to be good for getting your little lashes and the insides and the outsides. But look at all the gloop it picks up, ooh, if it'll focus, on the end of there. So if I went in and tried to do anything, I would get huge blobs of mascara. So then I end up having to try to wipe that off. And like, okay, I can get my lower lashes with this, but it doesn't work as well as some other mascaras that I have that just have a normal wand. Or even if they have a curved wand, I really find that if you turn the wand so you're just getting the top of the curve against your lower lashes, that works way better for me. And then because the ball at the end of this actually sticks out further than the wand part, when I'm going and using this, I actually find it hard to use where I'm not hitting the ball part of this against like my nose, or it gets in the way. And for me, this doesn't add anything to it. This just makes it more frustrating to work with. Once again, your mileage may vary. If you are somebody who likes these little bally, blobby addition things on the end of your mascara, you could love this. And you know, it's an inexpensive mascara. So if you like this kind of thing, you know, there's not a lot of harm in going and trying it out. It's just that I found this is more frustrating than I wanted it to be. On to something that I enjoyed. I like this NYC lipstick. This is in 440 Creamy Caramel. I think this was like a couple of bucks and I like it. It's a sort of brownish caramel nude. It's what I'm wearing today. I'll just put a little bit more on. You know, it's a tube lipstick. It's a nice consistency. It's a cream lipstick. But the nice thing about this is it's a couple of bucks. You know, it doesn't cling to any dry patches on my lips, and you get a chance to try out colors to see if they are colors that suit you. I think one of the things I'm going to do from now on before investing in, you know, liquid lipsticks or things at Sephora that are going to set me back $20, $25, $30 Canadian, I might just go and buy a corresponding color in like NYC or Wet n Wild and see, do I actually like the way that color looks on me? It's a low cost investment for a fun little product where you get to try a new color on yourself. The final product I'm going to talk about is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. There's the English side. We always have the French side on the back. And again, I'm going to be negative about this. I think you can get better setting sprays at the drugstore, and there are two issues that I have with this. The first is that I don't love the smell. I actually haven't used any setting spray yet, so I'm going to use this. Oh, okay, it just did what I don't like. First of all, the smell is not very nice. See, I now worry that I just messed up my eye makeup because I felt a big drop of it come out. And that is my problem with this, is the spray is inconsistent. It's not a fine spray and there's some big droplets in there. And I have had times when I've used it where, you know, I spray it on my face and then I can see some big drops and I just worry that they're going to mess up my makeup, which is not what you want to do when you just spent all this time doing it and you just want to set it. I would say that I really like the NYX spray for an inexpensive drugstore setting spray. I've used the NYX Dewy Spray before and I really like it. I like it better than this. I think the smell is better than this, and I never had any problem with the mist on that one. I've also heard, and I've not tried it yet, but I've heard that the L'Oreal Infallible setting spray from the drugstore is really quite good. And I think that Maybelline just came out with a new one that I saw in the store the other day. I've not had a chance to try that one yet either. I mean, it could be. I hate it when people say maybe I got a bad one. It's possible, but I would not take the chance because the droplets are inconsistent and it's not a pleasant smell, and I would just try something else. To get into a little bit of positivity to end this video, I'm going to tell you about a couple of products that I received in my subscription bags that I have done reviews for before, that I find myself going back to over and over, that I am enjoying even more than I thought I was going to. And I will put the links below in the description bar to the full reviews if you want to watch the full reviews of the products. The first product that I find myself reaching for pretty much daily, I kind of have to force myself to use other products, is the Vintages by Jessica Liebskin Highlighter Duo. There are two colors in here, Rose Quartz and Chocolate Diamond, and I completely thought when I first got this that this color was going to be too dark for me. I am using this almost every day. It's the highlighter I have on today. If you can see it with this lighting, maybe I'll just put a little bit more on. What I am applying it with generally is a taper blending brush, and I just kind of swirl it in there. And because I'm a bit of a makeup newbie, what I tend to do is turn my face so that I'm looking and can see where the tops of my cheekbones are, and then, you know, place it on there. And I find it gives me, I mean, you can build it up to be crazy bright, but it doesn't end up looking, you know, dark or anything. It looks like a wet highlight. And I really like it, you know, as a highlight on my cheekbones. Ooh. My nose. I'm gonna look totally shiny now. And on my Cupid's bow. I am just loving it. I don't really go into the rose quartz as much, but this one, it just, as I said, it almost doesn't have a color, except because it's not white, it doesn't look too stark. It just looks beautiful. And I have other highlighters, and I find I have to make myself reach for other highlighters because I like this one so much. The next product that I'm reaching for all the time, and I think is currently my favorite lip product, is the Juice Beauty Gloss. And this is in the shade Fig, and I am so upset that this has been discontinued because I love it. There is something about the color and the formula, and I'm just gonna put this on over top of the lipstick that I have on. It smells amazing. It just smells like orange juice, and I find that the gloss, you know, some glosses for some reason can stick a bit to dry skin or something. It's like this smooths on over top of your lips and just makes them look smooth and bright and beautiful, and it's not sticky feeling at all. It's just, it is a beautiful gloss and a beautiful formula and a beautiful color, and I'm so sad that you can't buy this anymore. The final product I'm going to mention, I did not actually do a review on, but it came in this month's or March's BoxyCharm. It's a crown brush, and it is their Jumbo Kabuki fan brush. And I originally saw this, so I thought that's going to be a crazy brush to do your highlighter with, because I always think of fan brushes for doing highlighter, even though, as you saw, I don't use fan brushes for highlighter. And so I wasn't sure what to do with this. I was kind of using it as a powder brush, and then I realized that this is perfect for bronzer. So if you're using a bronzer that comes in a larger pan, you sort of dust this in here, and you can touch it along your hairline, you know, along your temples, and it is perfect for, you know, just going right there, and it fits beautifully, and just, in my opinion, has given me the best bronzer application. I am just really, really enjoying this in a way that I didn't expect to, because I thought, what are you going to do with a fat fan brush bronzer? Bronzer and contour, it is perfect for. So that is my follow-up Friday video. If you enjoyed having follow-ups on products that I have previously done reviews on, or things that I've mentioned in passing, give me a thumbs up. That will let me know that you would like to see more follow-up Fridays. And if you have any suggestions, if you have questions about other products that I reviewed, you want to know if I've kept using them, what I've liked, maybe what I haven't, or you have suggestions of products for me to try, put them in the comment bar below. I respond to every comment that I get. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. You can click on the subscribe button below or on my face at the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!